Hello pilots, I'm Major Payne and this is another episode of Advanced Fighter Pilot Training. In this episode I'm going to explain in details how the matchmaking works, and I'm going to reveal the few planes which have individual matchmaking. And I also gonna talk about the content creator, which are worth of your time and you can learn something, and which are absolutely not. Let's get straight into it. What our game says about matchmaking? Well, battles in World of Warplanes are 12 vs 12. The game only allows maximum of 9 players on each team, and the remaining 3 spots are filled up with bots. Currently, in a game in European server, we can see those games 9 players in each team, specifically in the time of events, and we can't. It's a huge change compared to what we have a couple of years ago. And we have to say that this is thanks to the players from ex-CSI servers, which we should be grateful that they join our European server. Now, what else game says about the matchmaking? Well, one of the important notice is actually very funny. If the time goes past 1 minute and 40 seconds, then bug occur, and World of Warplanes team advise us to restart the game as quick as possible. So it's a bit funny and ridiculous as well to me that they make an instruction what to do if the bug occur instead of fixing it. Okay, but let's move on. And one positive aspect of this matchmaking is that the tier difference is allowed only once, so you can only play up against tier higher enemies, and this is not in every game. Like World of Tanks, World of Warships, they allowed matches with enemies 2 tiers higher, so that's good. We have that one tier only, and I always like this game for that. Now, the number of human players in both teams will always be the same, so if there is, let's say, 3 human players in a queue line for the match, then matchmaking will put those players into one team and up against a team of bots. And the tier difference are interesting also, so if there is one player against one player and the rest of the team are bots, then players will have the same tier of their planes. Now, if there are more players, then unfortunately matchmaking allows those players to have different tiers, and this is actually a little bit controversial, and a lot of players complain about that. So for example, if one team have 3 players and they are all on tier 6, then other team will also have 3 players, but they doesn't have to be on the same tier. So they will have like 1 player on tier 6 and 2 players on tier 5. I can hardly argue with anyone who says that this is not fair, because it's simply not fair. And in terms of flights, so if 2 players are in a flight, that could be even worse, because it could happen that you have match where, like you see on example now, the flight is at tier 7 and the random player are at tier 6 in my team. And the enemy team have 3 players also, but they are all at tier 6. They have no tier 7 human player. That's really unfair. You see the example now, yeah? So World of Warplanes team should definitely do something about this, because this is absolutely unacceptable, and I can't argue with players who says that this is ridiculous and shouldn't be like that, because they're absolutely right. Additional problem to this is that matchmaking doesn't have to strictly follow the class ratio, so that's mean, like in this case, that matchmaking can put 4 heavy fighters on front of 2 heavy fighters. Yeah, so enemy have 1 more light fighters and 1 more multi-role fighter, but we have 2 heavy fighter instead, and that gives us too much of advantage, specifically on this map where it's airfield and 2 garrisons. Like if enemy have a bomber, but this bomber can't really do much on that particular map with 4 heavy fighters. There is no factory, there is no rocket base, that kind of stuff. So this is clearly unfair, and people complain about this, as you can see. Now we move to individual matchmaking. I know that a lot of players not even aware that such a thing existing. Even one of my ace in my clan doesn't even believe that such a thing is in place, but it is. Some clans have preferential matchmaking. So I'm going to read you what is World of Warplanes team says about this on their website. Individual plane matchmaking. Blindfold said all tier 6 planes have 50% chance of getting into the tier 6 or tier 7 matches. With update 2.1.10, the chances for some planes have been changed. And PE2M82, that's a bomber on tier 6 in Russian tech tree. Ki-102 is a Japanese heavy fighter at tier 6. LA-5, it's Russian light fighter on tier 6. And Me-410 is heavy fighter on tier 6 in German tech tree. Chances of getting into the tier 7 battle were increased by 10%. So those planes chances are 10% higher to get into the tier 7 battle. The XP54 chances are increased by 20%, so that's even more of the nerf. And this is famous XP54 heavy fighter on tier 6 premium, often sell in premium store, yeah. So people are not aware that this plane, not only recently this plane get this nerf for his auto aim angle and overheat time of his cannons, but he also get this nerf back in 2021, and we can call it matchmaking nerf basically. And this is pretty unfair in my opinion for the players who buy that and they are not informed that this plane have this individual matchmaking, which is not in favor of this plane basically. Now, interesting part is here. The P-39N Air Cobra, that's the premium light fighter on tier 6 in American tech tree. P-51A, this is a tech tree light fighter on tier 6. Mosquito Mk26, that's the tier 6 premium plane in Chinese tech tree. Spitfire 5B EM, that's the tier 6 also premium in British tech tree. Mustang 1, this is very rare plane, premium also, not available for gold. It's very rarely you can see it in a premium store. And the XP50, which you can buy for gold in your tech tree. So chances for those plane to get into the tier 6 battle were increased by 20%. So you see, those plane have 20% more chances to be in a game with other tier 6 planes. So this is a buff basically. But the reason why I want to talk about this is that I realized that very few players are aware about this individual matchmaking. And for example, if you see now this LA5, yeah, this is tier 6 in a tech tree plane, but Wargaming sell the special pilot for this plane, yeah. And this plane have extra firepower and some other stuff, but main thing here is that there's lack of information when they sell those pilots that this particular plane have this individual matchmaking, which actually increase by 10% chance to be put up against tier 7s. And you know, customers should know that, and other players should know that, you know. So this is pretty important information. I think they're forgetting about that, and this is a mistake. This is not fair practice. What if Warplanes team is supposed to literally highlight that for example, for XP54, yeah, that this plane have 20% more chance to be up against tier 7? Then I will think twice before I buy this plane, yeah. But that would be like fair practice, and we're lacking of that. So I want the players to be aware. That's why this is training video about the matchmaking, because many players are not aware. And I'm gonna give you a link for this website in the description of this video, so you can take a look yourself. There's a little bit more interesting information, like for example, range of the air defense. As you probably know, the air defense, we have low altitude, like machine guns, cannons, and the heavy cannons for high altitude. So this high altitude air defense have a limits, and just that's remind me this screen when you see now when the player says that he's gonna go on high altitude after I kill him. That's remind me this actually that there is a altitude where the air defense can't reach you. So it could be useful in some situation, but most of the time flying at that high altitude is ineffective. But at least it's worth to know that there is an option if you are low HP, for example, and it's a square line, yeah, you are in the bomber, and if you go on certain altitude, then you are out of reach of these cannons and you can be taken down by air defenses. That could be useful in some rare situation. Just remember that not all the sectors are at ground level, yeah. Some sectors are at high altitude, so these values are not going to apply for those sectors. So you would have to be much higher. Like you see on this screen here, I'm going to show you the map where the sectors are at high altitude and some of them are at low altitude. Alright, now the last part of the video is about the content creators, and for very experienced players this is going to be more entertainment than informative part of the video. So if you want to stay, have a laugh a little bit, then be my guest. This for less experienced players that could be useful just to be aware that we have to avoid some of the content creators which literally mislead people, and you can pay the price in a game by making the same mistakes. So I'm going to show you two extreme examples of very bad content creators, and I also give you two guys which are very informative and professional, so you can safely follow them and learn something. And they have content which I don't have on my channel, so that could be very useful. Um, we are going to start with Nobel Q. You probably guessed that. Nobel Q literally asked the question in one of his stream if someone can explain him literally what I call basic mechanics. So I volunteer to answer to him. So okay, so first conspiracy, which is called Ghost Bomb. Let's listen.
No, let's not do that. Let's drop the bomb there. Bad angle on the 50-point target. Oh, God. Actually destroy it. Hey? How is that completely Can anyone explain that to me? How was that 30-point target completely intact there? I wonder if there's such a thing as a ghost bomb in the game. It did seem very odd. Or I've been cancelled by Wargaming, as Flying Dutchman says.
Okay, so here's my example. I'm gonna show you that this is not a ghost bomb, definitely not a fucking ghost bomb, okay? It's just you being too low and you drop the bomb which hit the trees. Like in real life, if you drop the bomb and you touch the trees with your plane, then this bomb is not gonna hit the target, it's gonna stop over those trees, yeah? Here we go. She literally stopped where I drop it. That's the first example, and second one be in a moment. So this is not a ghost bomb, this is nothing wrong with the game, it's just simple physics. Like if you fly a little bit higher, that bomb will go straight in the target, or if you just change the angle of attack from different side you attack where there's no trees, yeah, then you will have no problem. Another example here, I dropped this bomb, look at the indicator is in target, but you see I'm very low, I don't have to touch those trees, but bomb will go into those trees. She stepped over those trees and explode earlier. And this is it, that's the whole mystery. Okay, we go into another nonsense. There's engagement between tier 10 light fighter Messerschmitt and tier 9 attacker British light fighter. And this is how it goes.
Can't handle. Should be an easy kill now. Except that, so it's got company. How is it he gets to shoot my wing off, despite the fact I've shot him twice, and I haven't done a single critical to him? And he gets a fire! How the hell, game, can you justify that?
So what's happened here is that Nobel is going into turn fight with attacker, which is half a second better in turn fight, in average turn time, basically. And why he getting critical damage and fire? Well, that's depend a lot from your equipment, what kind of equipment you use on your plane, yeah? Okay, what else butter, my old friend?
One of the things that I am really not enjoying about this game is the way that your skills are taken away from you and you cannot use them against enemy players because the game will critical you in such a way that you cannot use them. That was a perfect case in point. That attacker should have been absolutely dead to rights when I got him into a turn fight. I can out-turn him all day long, and he got 2 shots on me that absolutely wrecked my aircraft. That is really, really, really frustrating.
So first thing first, as you can see, attacker is more maneuverable, half a second average turn time better. So you have to take that into consideration. Like if you see attacker which is specialized, most likely he is specialized for maneuverability. So you can't expect to outmaneuver this light fighter which is more maneuverable. That makes no sense. And the amount of critical damage you get are depend on what kind of equipment are you using. For example, I use on my Messerschmitt high-speed gas turbine, and you are using upgrade engine, which increase the chance of fire significantly. You have to be aware of that, so you have to take that into the account. Like, don't be surprised if you get fire with this equipment. Yeah, light wing frame increase the chance of this damage your wings or tail. You have to be aware of that. I'm using the same equipment, but I don't complain that game is fucking me, because it's not a game. It's just I'm taking this risk. If I have a problem, I can use this particular consumable, which repair the wings or tail if I have a problem. Yeah, but I prefer to have this thematic control system on a consumable. So it's not a game. It's our choices. Okay, and a little bit of luck as well.
I've put many hours into this game in order to acquire the skills that I have. To just have the game arbitrarily take them away, well, not even arbitrarily, just have the game say you're in an advantageous position here, you will have your skills removed.
No, it's not the game, it's just your skills and your lack of knowledge. Like in this case here, he accidentally go into two circle fight, which would be right for the Messerschmitt, but he's slowing down in this two circle fight. He's supposed to speed up in this first moment of the engagement, and thanks to this, he will get this separation, so he would be able to get back to the head-on attack and use the main advantage of the Messerschmitt, which is firepower. But of course, the guy have no clue about the dogfights whatsoever, and he blamed the game and everything, some conspiracy bullshit. He have like over 43,000 battles. But what the hell I'm even talking about? The guy is trying to convince his viewer that he can outmaneuver highly maneuverable multi-role fighters in his fucking ground attack planes. Just listen to this.
I might be better off just trying to outturn him. Do you know what? Did you see what just happened there? I've been complaining about this all year long. But the moment I went to use maneuverability against him, my tail was shot off.
The idea to outmaneuver this multi-role in this ground attacker is so stupid that I don't even know how to comment on that. And this guy is doing that constantly, all the time, making all those misinformation for players and telling all this bullshit.
But the game persistently does this these days. You go in to use maneuverability against an opponent, and before you can actually get into that fight, the game shoots your tail off, or at best a wing. You
Okay,
try
and
and slide
another
away from it.
ridiculous myth. I see that many times and often, that guys don't know how to take over the factory in one pass with 4 bombs, and it's absolutely possible. And one of my training video explained that.
I need to ask myself how we haven't taken this plant, because I've just dropped a bomb centrally on a 30-point target, and I can see that there are 2 buildings standing up right there in front of me. Look at it. And this is beginning to happen a lot now. There's something wrong with the calibration of this game.
Nothing is wrong with the calibration, just one of this target is actually 50 capture points target, and the bomb being dropped late inaccurately.
Let's just do the maths. It's 180 points for the mining plant if it's red. So 30 plus 30 is 60, plus the 50 is 110. You need 70 points. So you are going to need that PowerPoint plant. So you actually do need the 80-point target. So 50 plus 30 is 80, plus 80 is 160. That's not enough. So
So that's mean after 43,000 of battles, you don't understand how to flip over the enemy factory with 4 bombs, because it's very simple. The factory have 2 targets for 50 capture points and one main one for 80, and together it's 180 capture points. And how the hell is someone who have so many battles don't know this and spread this misinformation on his streams and other videos? That's make no sense, like, to me. I make a video about how to play bombers. It's explain perfectly how to flip over the factory with those 4 bombs. Lots of tons of players know how to do it, and I just can't understand this, to inform players that kind of ridiculous assumption that it's not possible. And some of these content creators are such a ridiculous liars. I don't know if they're not aware that they are lying, or they just such a poor liars, like in this case here. Listen to what he's gonna say.
I'm not using gold munitions.
This gold ammunition can be seen next to his head, and he's telling people that he's not using gold ammunition. It's just, how would he would say, utterly ridiculous. And there is unfortunately much more of these poor actors which pretend to know everything about the game, but they actually don't. Another one I just came across is this guy. Oh my god, this is just. If you want to have a popcorn and comedy, I recommend this. Like, this particular video here is about engagement with very good player on American server Kim. But this guy Kim is on lower tier and he have AFK in his team, guy who is literally not playing. And I would be ashamed to place the video where I'm winning with some good player which is down tier and have AFK in his team. Like, that make no sense to me. Literally, when I watch that, every minute of this video, I have a feeling that he's talking about something would have make no sense to me. Like, he's complete nonsense. I pick up one good example.
One mistake, it's going to be over, and that's going to cost me. And I want this win more than anything else. So I'm not going to take this fight. I'm going to go away. I'm going to get out of here. He's going to come up. He's going to shoot at me.
So basically, he's saying that he's gonna escape from Kim because he's afraid to lose in his Spitfire. In his Spitfire, which have 8.6 average turn time, basically, and he's going up against Hurricane Tier 4, which have 10.3 seconds of average turn time. Come on! This is just a joke. Another video where he in the title says, finally a plane that can counter the Black Widow. And in this video, he just fucking killed the bots for most of the time. Like, not even once killed the P61 Black Widow. Most ridiculous video I ever see. And in the end of the game, he have a dogfight with P61, which trying to attack him, and he can't outmaneuver P61 in an extremely maneuverable light fighter at tier 7. He literally taken a piece to tell people that he can't outmaneuver P61 in his Yak 3T. It's just hard to watch that. He's just ridiculous joke.
He can just do all sorts of crazy things to me, and that's rough. And I'm going to turn it again, but he's able to pivot again. He's probably got his pneumatic assist on, and he's going to get me with the tail guns here, right? Or at least he would, but he ran out of time. He should have dealt with me much sooner.
Yeah, so that's his plan, which can counter the Black Widow. Fucking joke, I'm telling you. And this black screen for a few minutes in the end is epic. Another video where he suggests that this modification which remove clouds is actually not given any advantage, and he just wants to see clear sky with without this white things or whatever he called that. It's just epic. Fucking popcorn, sit down and watch and listen the comedy.
It's not forcing the server to show me anything it doesn't want to show me. Installed on my plane in my client. It's not giving me any undue advantage. It's not forcing the server to show me anything it doesn't want to show me. All it has done is made it easier for me to enjoy the beauty of the game and not look at just a hazy white thing on my screen.
I think this guy is literally thinking that his viewers are dumb and they will believe him that he just wants to have a beauty of the game. It has nothing to do with modification gives significant advantage when he is firing at enemy which trying to dodge him, and he can clearly see where this enemy gonna go, and he can adjust his fire. That's not the case, no. It's just because the clouds are ugly. And the proof for that in this video will be this pathetic attempt to destroy the bot, and when he failed to do that, that's the proof that modification not give advantage.
So I missed the dive on him. I try and squeeze a few in there because these guys have popped up late. I don't have time to swing in around on them.
I'm actually tired to explain this, and literally everyone who have like 3-digit IQ will understand this. And if the World of Warplanes team wants to have the super arcadey game even more arcadey, fine, but this is not good road to go. Just like Tundra in World of Tanks, most of the players was using that back in the time, but then this mod became a cheat eventually, and people get banned, and that was right thing to do. And some of the viewers even contest him in the comment section. They said, "Hey, what you talking about? This is like a cheat. It's given a lot of advantage. What you talking about?" And he said, "No, well, I don't understand your point. What are you talking about?" And then another player come up with this comment, "Hey, thanks for the mod. It's improved my gameplay. Thank you a lot." Like, but seriously now. In the beginning, when I saw this channel, I was even trying to help him. Like, I make a comment, I point out in one of the video, "Hey, you make a mistake here. You're saying this, that's not true," and so on and so on. But he, of course, didn't reply on that. He just removed the comment, I guess, and that's it. Okay, we're just getting close to the end of the video. So to sum up, I just want to say that be cautious and double check the content creator you watch. Are they really not misleading you more than teaching you. I know at least two good content creators which I can recommend, and one of them is VBAT. It's an American server, I guess. The guy is pretty professional in what he says, and I was watching good few video of his, very useful. I don't think he's still creating the content, but whatever he creates so far, it's still very useful and up to date, most of it, I guess. Another one is Panzerkurst. I don't think he's still doing any content, but whatever he have on his channel is very professional and very informative, and you can learn a lot. I did, at least back in the time. So he helped me a lot also. And okay, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you like it. If you like it, please leave a like and subscribe for future content. And see you guys in the next one. Have a good hunting.